Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with RomWills. Learn from past mistakes. This is very important because I'm going to tell you what, we've all made mistakes. Now, if you've gone through your life and you haven't made a mistake someplace, hey, please contact me. In fact, you need to be doing videos. I need to be following your example because I've made plenty of mistakes. I have no problems with it. But you know what? The mistakes I made, one of the things I did, I didn't always see them as mistakes. I saw them as learning experiences. I learned from them. One of the things that I always worked to do was not make the same mistake twice. Now, I ain't gonna say I always did that. Sometimes I might have done that, but I would always work from it. I would always learn from it. I would always say, oh, okay, I did that, okay. What can I do not to do that again? Because that's how you have to look at it. We're all human. None of us walk on water. None of us are perfect. But we all gonna do something. But then that's why we're here. We're here to become better. We should be becoming better every day. But we're gonna make some mistakes. We're gonna slip up. Shoot, sometimes we might fall. You know, I remember when I was working on one of my 1,000 jobs, and it was at this retail department store. And I remember there was a woman walking across the parking lot, and it was some ice out there, and she actually slipped, but she played that off. I even gave it to her when she came off. I said, yeah, you played that off. That's how you gotta be. You gotta learn from it. You gotta learn, even if you slip. You have to learn how to play it off. Or if you slip and fall, it's no shame in falling. It's no shame at all in falling. You just get right back up. You figure out how not to fall the same way. And you probably fall again and again, but they should be different ways. You should learn. If you fall into that hole, okay, what did you do? What mistake did you make? Or if you miscounted something, misdid something, what is the mistake? Did you learn from it? What was the lesson there? Because sometimes, I'm going to tell you what, however you worship Supreme Being, God, Deity, Infinite Universe, whatever term you want to use, that's a way of teaching us how not to do something. Indeed, some smart parents, sometimes I've heard different successful people talk about their parents just letting them just do some stuff. So they would learn from it. They would learn from it. They would figure it out. They were learning. They wouldn't yell at them or anything like that. And that's some parents, of course. Some other parents will be like, yeah, what you doing? What you doing that for? But then you should learn there how to keep them from yelling at you. I'm going to tell you what, and that's all of us. And it's no shame. Now, one of the things I do see, which I think is some shame, is when people let that get to them. There are people who will make different mistakes, and they will let that mess with them for years. They were like, oh, I did this. It was like, you just made a mistake. You know, if you hurt somebody, apologize. If you didn't hurt, if you hurt yourself, apologize to yourself. There's no shame in falling. It's no shame in it. You just learn the lesson that's presented. And sometimes you can keep doing it. That means you haven't learned the lesson the first time. Every time you do something, every time you make a mistake, every time you make a misjudgment, every time you do something that may hurt somebody especially, learn from it so you don't do it again. And we've all done that. And there's been plenty of people. There's been plenty of people who've gone through something and they say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. There are people sitting in jail and they were like, you know what, I need to be here. But then when they come out of jail, they are doing better. They are doing better. They're doing better as a human being. They helping people because they learned. Because everything is a learning experience, every single thing. Just like we're learning from the good things that we're doing. And in fact, you know what, I'm gonna talk about that next week. Learning from the good things especially. But this week, learning from past mistakes. Learning from them. learning from the stuff you're doing. You know, it could be, hey, you might have like gotten robbed or something going a certain direction someplace. If nothing else, well, you can learn a couple things there. One, to keep your eyes or keep your head rather on a swivel. And B, not to go that direction again. Not to get robbed again. Or what you need to do. And that's everything. It could be everything. It could be burning yourself on the stove. Okay, you learned a lesson there. It was like, oh, well, you know what? You need to wear gloves. And that's all it is. That's all it is. Now, it's not saying you're going to be perfect. It's not saying that you ain't going to make mistakes in the future. But you just want to make fewer of them as you get older because you're learning. That's the thing. You want to make fewer of them. And then even when you make that mistake, learn from it. Learn from it. I can't emphasize that enough. I can't emphasize that enough because we've all done that. Because, I mean, and I touched on this a few minutes ago, but one of the saddest things is when people live with that mistake. They made some mistake and they still thinking about it years later. No, whatever you do, you know you made a mistake right then. Think about it right then and then learn from it. And then when you're in that same situation, not doing the same thing. And you know what? You can make another mistake doing it a different way, but you still learn from it. That's the thing. That's the thing you have to do. That's the thing. Like, I'm very open about having that stroke a few years ago. One of the things I learned that I needed to be calmer about some things. I know y'all see me on video, but y'all don't see me off video sometimes. And well, at least back then, but I learned to be calmer. I learned to rest more. See, even if it's something medical, you might learn you don't eat certain foods, or you don't drink certain things, you don't do certain things, you don't get angry about certain things. You learn from it. I don't care what it is. And that's the important thing. Is you look at being alive, being on this planet as a classroom. Every single thing you do, you're learning from. And like I said, next week I'm going to talk about learning from the good things, really learning from the good things. So, but this week, learn from past mistakes, learn from them. Think about it so you don't keep doing it. Another sad thing is not people so much as holding on to that mistake, but to keep making the same thing over and over. It's that saying of, you fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, shame on you. You learn from it, all right? You learn from every single moment. So that's all I have for today. Think about what I'm saying. Learn from everything. Learn from those past mistakes. Next week I'll talk about something different. So think on what I'm saying and have a good day, all right? Keep rising to become the best person that you are meant to be. Peace and blessings, everyone.